I didn't spend any time selling or promoting anything. The only time I was on my phone was to post some stories about my adventures, about the retreat, and yet sales rolled in. That week alone, I actually brought in over $20,000 in. Hello, I am back and feeling so fresh from my retreat, and just having those few days to relax with my mum after the retreat was just so nice. We saw some kangaroos, we saw some kookaburras, all of the beautiful Australian animals out there as well, and just spent time in nature, down at the beach, in amongst the trees, and it was the best time to reset. But I am back and in the office this week. But one thing that I realized while I was away, this was a huge light bulb moment for me and quite insane actually. So here's the thing. I didn't spend any time selling or promoting anything. The only time I was on my phone was to post some stories. I didn't spend any time selling or promoting anything. The only time I was on my phone was to post some stories about my adventures, about the retreat, and yet sales rolled in. That week alone, I actually brought in over $20,000 in new sales. And I did not sell or promote anything at all. And so I thought that I would share with you some of the ways in which my business actually brings in income and feeling even so fresh from my retreat and working. Just having those few days while I was away, I did have after the retreat was just time to think. So nice. We saw some kangaroos, we saw some kookaburras. I have unlocked all of the beautiful Australian animals out there as well. Business, just spent time in nature, where we don't down at the beach, not work amongst the trees. That's not the vibe. It was the best time, but we get to reset. Have. But I am back, flow, and in the office this week. All of the things that we love that I realized massive while impact I was away. And feel damn great doing it without the hustle, light bulb moment without for having me, to sacrifice quite our lifestyle, actually. Our health. So here's the thing: everything else. I didn't spend any time selling or promoting anything. The only time I was on my phone was to post some stories about my adventures, about the retreat, and yet sales rolled in. That week alone, I actually brought in over $20,000 in new sales. That is not even counting payment plans from already secured clients. That's $20,000 brand new sales. And I did not sell or promote anything at all. And so I thought that I would share with you some of the ways in which my business actually brings in income, even when I'm not necessarily working. So while I was away, I did have a lot of time to think. And I honestly believe that I have unlocked the key to creating a freedom-led business where we don't just not work, because that's not the vibe, but we get to have flow, we get to do all of the things that we love, create such a massive impact, and feel damn great doing it without the hustle, without having to sacrifice our lifestyle, our health, everything else, and yet still money gets to come in. And this was probably the number one question or theme that I was asked on the retreat. I remember when things used to feel so damn hard, where I felt like I had to hustle my ass off. And just for context, there is a big difference between taking action and hustling. Now, we're still here to do the damn work. Yes, we can manifest all day, but we have to actually take action if we want things to happen. But I am not for burning ourselves out, making things feel so much harder than they need to be, creating success that is someone else's version of success that's not actually ours. Next year, I'm actually going to be doing a ton more travel and living that nomadic lifestyle even more. So I'm always continuing to grow and expand within myself and just ask myself, like, how can this be even better? Because it's pretty damn good. But we can always continue to grow and learn and evolve. So I have a lot to share. I'm going to have a whole lot more to share as I continue to grow and navigate this, but I'm dropping it all in today's podcast episode. Because this way of business is literally the whole ethos behind my mastermind business for life and how I just coach my clients in general, to be honest. There's no burnout vibes anywhere to be seen. You know that you want to create more freedom, more flow, more ease in your business, but you also probably understand that simply just running away from your business or closing it down or burning it down is also not the vibe, because you probably are not wanting to go back to a full-time job and working for someone else. So, in addition to the 20K in new sales that I brought in, I was sitting and having brunch with my mum, and I realized that I have already locked in over $150,000 in revenue for the next 12 months. I'm not even talking about this year. I'm talking about next year. And actually, as I'm recording it, it's actually now at $170,000 revenue for the next 12 months. Like, that is mind-blowing to me, because I used to work a full-time job earning $40,000 in the year. $170,000 is a wild amount to be making personally. And I run my business very, very lean, so I have very minimal costs as well. And I could not have imagined my career in marketing having led to me being on a $170K wage at the age of 29. So here's the best part. I calculated, if I did nothing else, if I never recorded another podcast episode, if I never posted anything to Instagram, if all I did was fulfill the client work, coaching my clients that have locked in their payments for the next year, it totals just 40 hours of work in the entire year. Not per week, in the entire year. Like, my brain actually exploded when I realized this, because 40 hours was me being generous. That was me estimating that they'll message me a bit more than they probably do and adding on a little bit. 40 hours of work in the entire year to be able to earn over $170,000. It just does not make sense. So when I put that into perspective of how many hours that is per week, that is less than 1 hour per week. Like, what the heck is that? Because most people are working bare minimum 40 hours per week. And so I am so aware of how privileged and grateful I am to be in this position right now. Like, I keep pinching myself, because what is this life that I have created for myself? When just about maybe 5 years ago, I had hit rock bottom of burnout. I had hit adrenal fatigue, emptied my entire life savings. And here I am right now recording this podcast. Like, I am as mind blown as you probably are right now. And so I thought, let me work out how much that is per hour. That is over like $3,750 per hour. And I worked that out to $150K, so it's even more. That is the possibilities that business brings. Because we are no longer capped by what society, by what the economy has been built on. We get to create our own reality. And that's pretty damn exciting, also pretty damn scary at the same time, because there are no rules. There are no rules to what is possible. So I wanted to break down some actual tangible steps for you today on how I've made this happen. The first thing, before anything else, is having a limitless fantasy land mindset. This reality that I have created is not logical one bit. And that is because I chose to believe and to have the deepest trust in myself, being able to make anything possible. If we can't even imagine that being a reality for us, then it's going to be damn hard to create it. Because we know that what we see and what we believe is what becomes our reality. Our subconscious mind is wired to uphold what it believes is true. Your subconscious is what we're operating in over 80% of the time. It's controlling how you show up. It's controlling how you think. It's controlling your heart beating, like all of the things that are creating your reality. And so if we don't fully believe it at our core and have this absolutely limitless mindset of anything is possible, then it is going to be a lot harder to create that reality. So this is honestly the number one thing that I help my clients with, is unlocking this. And not just wanting to believe, but truly believing. Because when we can unlock that, anything actually becomes possible. And so the second part to that is having that deep belief, but then actually going out and doing the damn thing anyway. So this is the most important part, but sometimes the hardest part, because doing it is going to be scary, but we do it anyway. So what I want you to think about today to start with is, what is something that you want more of in your life or business right now that just seems too illogical, that just seems too big of a dream? And write that down and do it. Write that down, and maybe you want to even anchor it into, this is the reality I am creating for myself. A reality where I no longer feel stressed every damn day. A reality where I get to feel so much freedom and flow that I'm on holiday and DMs are dropping in with $20,000 of sales. Dream big. And then dream a little bit bigger again, because why not? I've shared before, people often set realistic goals, but I'm like, realistic to who? Because right now, 40 hours for 170K is realistic to me because I'm doing it. It's not realistic to society, and I very much acknowledge that. So let's not go realistic. Let's go damn big. Illogical, delusional, fantasy land kind of goals. I would actually love to hear them. So DM me your big dreams and goals of what you actually want your reality to be, because I get so damn excited hearing what you're going to set out to do. So come and DM me actually. So that is the first part. We're going to damn well believe it. We're going to be delusional, and we're going to do it anyway. The second part is going to be my business model, my pricing, income streams, and all of the masculine elements that actually make my business run. Because just believing it is nice, but if I didn't have anything to sell, if no one knew what I have on offer, then it's going to be a little bit hard, right? So we do need these masculine elements. This can sometimes be the hardest part because we have self-sabotage that comes in that says, "Ooh, you better not charge that price. Like, who are you to create that offer? Who are you to post about this certain thing that you want to post about?" And we also have blind spots on where are we capping ourselves? Where do we need to push the limits more? There's going to be two main parts under this that really have created this reality for me right now. Obviously, there's a lot of moving parts in business, in strategy, in building a brand, in all of that. These two main parts are things that I do share inside of my program, Business for Life, and honestly have unlocked this reality for me right now. So the first part is when people enter my world, they stay a while. What that looks like is people might sign up to one of my masterclasses or one of my programs, and they unlock so much. They create so much change in their life from that one thing that then they're like, okay, what else have you got, Jess? Obviously, I need to be damn good at what I do and build the deepest relationships and trust with those clients as well. So I'm not always just focused on, why is no one signing up? Why are these people? Why don't I have 50 people when I wanted 100 people? I'm like, hell yes, I got 2 people into my offer so far. Or I celebrate the heck out of every single person who comes into my world. I shower them with so much care, so much love, and making sure that I give them the best transformation and outcome possible. So I really bring my A game regardless of how much money I'm making, regardless of how many people are in a certain offer, and I show up. Because I am here for a good time, but also a long time. And I am here for the long-term relationships. Because one of my biggest values is depth. Is depth of not just my teachings, but relationships as well. And if I can have that depth with less people, but we can go to town on it, we can take this to the moon and beyond, then that would feel so much more fulfilling to me than having thousands of people who dip in and out. I don't really get to know them and see you later on to the next thing. Firstly, there's going to be a hell of a lot of effort to continue to get more people in. But secondly, I don't enjoy that. So with this, I obviously have multiple offers where my clients can continue to renew or jump into new offers depending on what they need. So I have Business for Life, which is my mastermind where they get personalized coaching from me in a group environment. Then I also have courses and masterminds with specific topics where we can be hyper-focused on gaining specific outcomes. So that allows people to jump into Selling in Flow for sales, jump into Limitless for my mindset programs, jump into my Nice Girl Masterclass for people pleasing and unlocking the power that we have. Like, those get to be really powerful. And if they've jumped into one, they may need the other one as well, and they all work so beautifully together. And then, of course, I have my one-on-one coaching as well, where we just go deep into all the things, super personalized, super close proximity. So I have a few things, and I wouldn't recommend to go and create a million things overnight. This has happened over time, and every single time I create something that I am just so lit up by and so passionate by, that then gets to become part of my offer suite. So now I have a bunch of programs that I know is going to give people bits and pieces of what they need on their journey. But also they can just continue to renew and do the same programs over or extend them for an extended period of time. And that gets to be really, really cool as well. So at the end of each of the programs, I always offer the opportunity to jump into something else or upgrade or maybe extend or renew what they're currently doing inside of one of my offers. Because if I assume the best in every scenario, and I know how much I believe in my programs and the transformations they provide, why wouldn't I offer them the opportunity to jump into something else, to renew, to continue to grow and create even more life-changing transformations? One of the main reasons that I see people not offer people opportunities to continue working with them is because our ego. We don't want to offer someone something and they reject us and we take it personally. But what if we didn't have to take it personally? Maybe it's just not the right time for them. Maybe they just loved what you provided for them so far and that was incredible and so enough for them right now. Put ourselves aside for a minute and think about the client first. It makes no sense to not offer them an opportunity to continue working with you. It's kind of like if you knew, and we're going to put ourselves in the client perspective for a minute, if you knew there was an open house party and you could go, like it's an open house party. It's like, hey, anyone can come, whatever you want. But you're kind of like, oh, I don't really know them that well. I wasn't really personally invited, so maybe I just won't go. Versus actually being invited by the host. They're like, hey, Jess, would love for you to come to my party. I'm having it on Saturday. Would love for you to be there. You're going to feel so much more at ease going, and you're going to feel valued, like they actually want you to be there. And you're probably more likely to go. This is what I feel like when you open the invitation for them to continue to grow with you. Yes, having an open house party, people will come, but there's probably a bunch of people that may not have gone as well. So I personally love just going deep and building special long-term connections with my clients because firstly, I love it. But secondly, it is so much harder and a whole lot more energy. If we want to create a freedom-based business, it's going to burn a whole lot more energy to get someone who has no clue about you, who's never experienced your offers or your work to sign up to your high-end offer. Versus someone who has experienced your magic and is so ready to just be ride or die in your world. That is where we get to actually create more impact, fulfill our mission even more, but also create more ease for ourselves in our business. It's win-win for everybody. So the other part to this is obviously longevity is amazing. And then I also have long-term offers. So I used to only offer 3-month one-on-one coaching, but I have started to just give people the option of, do you want to do 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months? And guess what? Most people have chosen 6 or 12 months, some of whom have actually paid in full for 12 months. So look at what can happen when we just open up the opportunities. If I only ever offered people 3 months or 1 month, then I'd feel in this state of anxiousness that I've always got to chase more and more and more because what if they drop off tomorrow? There's no safety in it. It creates peace of mind for the clients that they have the ongoing support, they've locked in their price, and they're just so ready to commit to their own growth. But having guaranteed income is also going to create the biggest level of safety within your business. Because I know if I do nothing else next year, I have $170,000. If I'm sitting at the beach, my brain no longer goes, oh my gosh, we're going to lose everything, so you better get back to work, you lazy bugger, don't be sitting at the beach. I'm like, no, it's cool. I've got the safety. And you can see how even just mentally, this creates so much freedom. It removes the guilt and anxiety from taking time out because at the bare minimum, you're covered. It allows you to not have to hustle and burn yourself out and just have like more fun and freedom and flow in your business, which guess what? Makes you more magnetic to your dream clients. Because if you're having fun, if your nervous system is regulated, if you're just in a state of flow and just pure joy, people are going to want to be around you and sales are just going to flow in. So it's just like win, 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 win. Wins all round. There is no lose when you follow these strategies. And they are quite simple, but obviously there can be limiting beliefs, self-doubt, imposter syndrome that can come up. And that is why I started with the mindset piece. Because you are so deserving and capable of creating this freedom right now. I do not have anything extra special. I didn't start with any extra leg up, like I'd lost my entire life savings. I've started from there. And if you can just implement a couple of these things, see what it unlocks for you. Because these are things you can implement today. You don't have to go and reinvent your entire whole business. So what you can start to think about is, what are other offers that you can share with your current clients? Do you have other things that you've created in the past that you can just share with your current clients and see if they need it? Is there something new that you want to offer that doesn't need years and years of creation to just release it? And then, of course, there's always going to be selling to new audiences, replenishing your audience by sharing social media content and things like that. But I've shared my sales strategies in other podcast episodes, so you can go and listen to those. But I wanted to focus on the ease and the flow that gets to happen when you lean right into utilizing these three things. Like, I honestly feel like I have unlocked the code to true freedom. And not just time freedom, but freedom of the mind, freedom in business, freedom in income, in being able to make the choices that we want and not be limited by the money in our bank account. It gets to be so, so powerful when you lean right into this work. And I've helped so many of my clients unlock their own journey to freedom and success. And I know it is so, so possible for you too. So I hope you've enjoyed this masterclass. A whole lot thrown at you today. So feel free, re-listen to this as many times as you need. Come back and revisit it in a couple of weeks and see what else you can continue to shift and take from this. Because I know in myself, whenever I learn something new or helpful, that I actually take something different from it every single time I listen to it. Even though it is the exact same thing, you are in a different place. Your mindset's different. Your results are different. And so we can continue to learn and level up. So if you're ready to just stop wondering how the hell I can make this income and literally only need to work less than 1 hour a week, let's start doing it. And to start doing it, the first thing you need to do is honestly decide. Is to decide that illogical levels of success and freedom are available to you right now. And then we get to pave the path to getting there. So if this has been helpful, I would love for you to share it on your Instagram stories, tag me, or just come and send me a DM. I always love hearing how this has helped, what your key takeaways were, and I cannot wait to just see all of the incredible freedom and expansiveness as we come into the holiday season, but all the way into next year and all of the years to come. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you on the next one.